This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
Alright guys, welcome to Press Pass Live, a special edition. This is not going to be our weekly show. We'll still do that. I don't know, I need to look. I didn't even see. I know Dwayne's off today, so we may try to knock this all out a little later today or maybe first thing in the morning. I need to look at everybody's schedule. So, this is a special edition of Press Pass Live with me and Mr. Wayne, where we're going to try to help clear up some FPR issues. So, here's kind of the thought process of how we're going to wing this. And this is a little bit of a wing job here. Over this whole season, right, FPR has always been under control of a board member. And over the past couple of seasons, those board members have been busy and had other responsibilities. And recently, Chaotic was the FPR guy. And he was also commissioner of OMFL too, and so our FPR really suffered and wasn't followed through on as well as it could be. And last year I took it over and did as well as I could, but started to kind of figure out my own system. And this year really started to crack down and really started to hold us accountable to our system. So if you don't know what our system is, we have a 3-stage warning system. Stage 1 is just a verbal warning. It just means that you and I have spoken. I showed you some issues and we're now on the same page. Stage 2 is that there are either more issues or different issues or the same issues. We spoke about it with examples. We've refreshed about FPR and we move forward. Stage 3 means that we've now spoken 3 times. This is a major issue. Depending on if it's a new issue or if it's the same old issue, by the time you reach stage 3, it now puts us both on the same page that I can now remove you at my discretion. Now, I don't just remove owners without conversations. If I remove you, it's after we've had many, many, many conversations, and I just feel like we're at a point where either you're frustrated, I'm frustrated, we're both frustrated, and it's not getting better. Or it's just time to move on. And so I've tried to hold all of us more accountable. It's a system that holds me accountable as the commissioner, a system that holds owners accountable so that it's not like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to work on that. Nobody told me. I got booted for nothing. No, that's not going to be a thing here. So I've been kind of thinking through that process as guys have been put in the system. And you can see there's a running list. It's not like a behind the closed door thing. Like it's very out in the open, and we try to be as transparent as we can. But it's all posted, and guys, we've even got a couple guys in stage 3 this year. But because of that, I feel like there's a group of owners who feel like they're a little frustrated that they are working on their game, but yet they're not getting the response that they wish they were getting or the results that they wish they were getting. And so I know I've done something like this in the Wrestling League, the GFW, where we watched a match and talked about it live about FPR, because we use FPR also in the GFW, and it went really well, and then we got really great responses. And so I've asked Dwayne to come join me. I don't want to take up a ton of his time, especially since we have to do another show later. So we'll keep, and I know that guys don't want to watch 7-hour shows, so we'll keep this as short as we can. But I think that this may be good. The first thing you're seeing right on your screen right now are some notes. And this is what we mean by timestamps. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's about, an hour and 10 to an hour and a half to play a game, right? If you're watching a video, it's a good hour and a half long. So imagine watching 3 to 5 videos every advance, which is every 2 to 3 days, for 32 owners for 16 weeks. It's very overwhelming, especially when the guy's like, oh, he did this one thing this one time. Right now, I have to go like watch an entire hour and a half video and guess and watch, detailed for every little thing that might or could or would have happened. And guys don't give timestamps. And we used to say, and we kind of still do, that if you don't give timestamps, we're not watching. But the reality is we can't really do that. But if you give me timestamps, you take me from using an hour and a half of my time to using like 8 minutes of my time, 9 minutes of my time, right? And this is a perfect example of what timestamps look like. This was this owner's feedback of what he thought was being done. And we're going to go watch some of these timestamps, and we'll kind of talk about it, Dwayne and I live. But I want to give an example of what these timestamps look like and how owners should be doing it. You should invest in your own league. You should invest into this place and invest your own time into this place by doing timestamps. And it's pretty easy. You just keep notebook next to you if you feel like you're in the middle of a bad game, or just remember, all right, like I'm playing this game, and at 3 minutes in the third quarter, this guy did something I felt like was against FPR, giving him an advantage to beat me. So I'm going to go back after this game and look and see if I can find the play and write a timestamp. You don't have to give super detailed, like 50 things like this guy did, but you should be giving us timestamps on stuff that you feel like is there. So, let's look at something. Yeah, please.
Well, you guys, talking about leaving timestamps, I know for my sake, and I can speak for Dawson when you make a little note throughout the game. Dawson's real bad. You'll know when Dawson's making a note about you. He pauses the game, especially if it's something big, and that's just the way he logs his stuff. He's going to try to log it down the best he can. And for me and myself, I log stuff down. I just kind of, I guess, the few little time I spent in college, I learned just to jot just enough down to know where you can go back after the game. You can kind of skim through your game again, recheck your stuff. Because I'll say that. I thought, I looked through my notes. I think they did something. I go back and it really, in real time, when I go back and look at it, it didn't happen the way that I thought it happened when it actually happened. So I will advise to, if you make your notes, go back and look at it again. We do want you. Now we don't want you piling in 10 feedbacks. I think Nate said that before at one time.
Oh,
but
God.
you do have
Those
a little time. You can go back and look at that game
hang.
after the fact. If you think something really happened, recheck your notes. And if you feel confident in what you've seen and what you've seen again, submit it. And like I said, man, we have a good group of guys who do look at watch these films and like Nate said, you're talking about an hour game. If you don't really give us nothing to go by and you just tell us this, we have to watch the whole game.
Yeah,
that's a lot of time. And like Nate said, you're talking about 3 to 5 games in advance that you have to watch. And if Nate's not lucky and it gets a few of us, and he's watching these games himself, and I can't speak for Nate, but you're talking about 3-5 hours every 2 days just watching film is not very fun.
No, it's not. It's a massive investment from guys who already invest a lot of time, and it just long-term is not the solution. And so let's look at a couple of these. So this guy says at 212, he felt like the guy did not cover his zone. So let's take a look at it. So I've got everybody's permission to show these games. This is the Cleveland-Cincinnati game. And you're going to see we're watching the Cleveland stream here. So you're going to see he plays the left outside linebacker here. He's supposed to be covering a left short-ish zone. Am I on the right play here?
On first down, this is Geis.
Wait a minute.
I'm seeing your strength.
Oh, I think I went too far. Hold on. Let me go back. Here we go. It'll be after this play. So that's my fault. I didn't go far enough. Or was that the play? You can see that this is not a perfect. This is the play. So you'll see he's going to play the left outside linebacker right here. Perfect. Supposed to be covering a short zone. Now he bumps the tight end, and then he tries to play the run. Bumps the tight end. All right. So we'll pause it real quick. The Browns felt like he didn't cover his zone. I completely disagree. You'll see the play art right here. Cover 9, right? He played that zone. Like it doesn't have to be pinpoint accuracy. guys have the freedom to guess at plays from time to time. So if they're not in their zone once or twice a game, it's fine. It's if it's happening 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 times a game, like that's a problem, right? And so in my opinion, I'd love to get your feedback, but watching this play, it wasn't that bad. It didn't look that bad, and I didn't think he was out of his zone at all.
We are telling the play he just completed a 10-yard pass, right?
No. So I'm at 150 on the Cleveland-Cincinnati game film.
Let me go to Case Stream and I keep up with it like that because I think it's a slight lag.
Yeah, it's probably going to be. Yeah. It's going to be tough for us to kind of pinpoint it. But at 150 on the Bengals-Cincinnati Browns game, right? Burfict is supposed to cover a short left zone. He takes 1 or 2 steps in, right, which always kind of raises a red flag. Then he bumps the tight end who's running the out. And then the play's kind of over pretty quickly. And so there really wasn't a whole lot of time there for him to get out of his zone.
I mean, keep talking. I'm just trying to find stream.
So it's not 150 on the game time, but on the actual video time. So 150 on the actual video, and you'll see the play. I'm going to watch it for a third time here just to show guys. Look, he bumped the tight end, which is a strategy. It is legal. It is allowed. Yeah, I just don't see anything here at all that's against FPR. It was you're right. You were asking was it a 10-yard completion? You're right. It was.
Okay.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the actual completion. I was just watching the linebacker. But yeah, you're right.
So he said he thought Burfict came out of his zone.
He did. He thought Burfict was out of his zone, and that's why he sent that timestamp.
The only thing Burfict, I thought he's in that left zone. Off, the left side is the 3 guys in the middle, if I'm not mistaken, that cover 9.
Yep.
If anything, he just honestly he starts to play. It's not his fault. He starts out of the zone, but that linebacker's not in his zone when he starts to play to begin with. Just the way he's lined up, and so he really does start right there on that tight end, and he doesn't go very far in my opinion.
No, I
don't think he goes very far. Now if he'd have played over and got the interception on this play, I think we'd be talking a different story. Now, that's just my interpretation, because if he's got the interception, that means he's playing literally in between the lines.
No, you're right. Now, if at the start of that play, he immediately goes to the middle of the field and picks that ball off in the middle of the field, that's a problem, right? If he thinks that play is going in the middle of the field, then play your middle linebacker, who is covering that middle of the field zone. Like, that would be a problem. And what we find, right, and the issue that we've had with, 1 or 2 owners, one owner who's pretty stubborn about it is, if you watch at the beginning of that play, I'm going to go back real quick. If you watch at the very beginning of this play, you'll see he takes 2 steps in. So watch at the snap here. Takes 2 steps in, right? Now immediately, though, as soon as he takes the 2 steps in, he's getting back in his zone. He's following that tight end, which is totally acceptable. Again, no one's perfect. This game's not going to be perfect. We're not going to start, breaking out rulers to see if guys are in their zone. That's not what FPR is about. It's what FPR in zone is to keep guys from covering from 40 to 40, right? In between the numbers with one player, which I literally argued with one owner that he did. Literally, he was the linebacker in the middle zone. He followed a tight end all the way to the left numbers, curled around because the quarterback took off for a run, and tackled the quarterback at the other right numbers. And he argued that that was not roaming. That's roaming at 100%. So anyway, this is okay, right? But now if you take those 2 steps in like he did there, and you stay coming up like that, right? You stay with that little gap where you're 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 yards in front of your players so you can get that user lurk. That's a little bit of a problem, right? Now you're just taking advantage of an AI flaw. And that we just can't fix in this game, that user lurk. But yeah, I don't have a problem with the play, and I think it's fine. Let's go to, I think it's 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So let's go to 5:50. This is going to be a little tougher play that I want to point out so that guys don't submit this in the future. Now, this may change, right, as we progress, because we are going to be submitting some rule changes. I'll be honest, we're probably going to I think the board is with me. We're probably going to ban all aggressive adjustments on offense and defense. We have tested this, and players make plays that they don't have attributes or ratings for just because you swapped a setting from a normal to aggressive. We probably will allow conservative. We probably will allow normal. Of course, we'll allow those we don't find to be major game-changing adjustments. But aggressive does seem to be major game-playing adjustments. In my opinion, what you're going to see here is a guy who thought the other owner was selecting catch type. And you'll see why here. So we're going to play the video. It's going to be really hard to see. And I don't know with the resolution that people will be able to see it. But you're more than welcome to go find this video on our YouTube page and see it yourself. I'm going to try my best to stop it here. So I'm just going to be pausing as we go. So he's going to throw this ball to the circle receiver. And as he bullet passes, you're going to see the icon pops up, RAC, R-A-C, run after catch. And then right before the catch, it changes to aggressive. It's very, very quick. It's hard to see with resolution. I'm showing a video of a video, so the resolution is probably going to be even worse. But you will see it change. And see, right there, I just paused it. That's probably really hard to see on my stream because it's a stream of a stream. But that says RAC, R-A-C. All right, it's still, and then bam, it changes to aggressive right before the catch gets there. This was because this owner had his catches set to aggressive. So guys were thinking, oh, he was selecting catch type, that's why that changed. And in actuality, he just had the catch types on coach adjustments set to aggressive, or, guys could set it to a conservative. So if you see that quick change like that, that's what you're seeing is a coach select, not selecting the catch type, but setting those in coach adjustments. So I kind of wanted to point that out so that guys don't, continue to submit those thinking, oh, well, this guy's cheating, when in actuality it's just a coach adjustment.
Yeah, so I was trying to slow it down at real speed. It was really hard to see.
It's very hard. I have no clue how Chaotic's seen that, but he definitely did. And yeah, it was there. And when I went back and watched it, I was like, oh, okay, I see what he's talking about. So here is another little problem that we've seen over and over and over again. And look, Cincy Berger, I don't think would mind me saying this. This has been a struggle for him. And this is a habit that he has to break and that he's trying to break. And he and I had this discussion, which is why I'm showing it on this video. I pointed this out. I was like, look, this is just blatant. You can't do this. His response was, I don't feel like I did anything that half the league wouldn't do. If that's true, that's a problem, and that's why I'm pointing it out. But I also was just talking to him about him. So don't let that be a response when you and I are talking, just any of you, if we're having a talk through FPR. Let me say this too. A couple of guys that I've had to talk to recently, Big Hurt, Cincy Berg, Tim, these have been good, productive conversations, like real adult conversations, and it's been refreshing because I've had some rougher conversations with other guys who just get very defensive, who point out other people's issues. It just gets it degrades into something that isn't useful for them or me or anybody, and just ends up wasting all of our time. And so I appreciate adults who can have adult conversations about gameplay issues that we're just trying to do to keep things fair. It's not fun for me to have this conversation. I don't look forward to those messages and those conversations, but it's part of my responsibility here and my accountability to the board, to the league, and to everybody that I keep us all on the same page. And that's why I think that we have a really great league here. And so I do appreciate these guys, being willing to have adult conversations as we all should be. So you'll see here, he's had problems in the past with spinning right after a catch, catching the ball, having a defender on him. So his first response is to spin immediately, break it for a big play. Here you're going to see him do a juke move, like one step after the catch. Again, just not humanly possible, right? In the game it's possible, but physically, a player probably can't do this with his body. So he's going to throw it to the triangle. Bam, as soon as he catches, he's hitting the juke button because he sees the defender closing in on him. we need to try to keep that stuff to a minimum. We're going to show it again. There should not be juke moves right after a catch. There should not be spin moves right after a catch. You want a stiff arm? I'm totally fine. Like, that's a physically able to do move. If he stiff arms right here and stiff arms that guy down and breaks it, like, I'm fine with that. Like, that's a move that in real life you could see happening. But a juke move as soon as you catch the ball, it's just not, like, it's physically a guy can't do that with his body.
Are we talking about the one with the running back catching out of the backfield?
Yeah, he caught it out of the backfield and then juked as soon as he caught the ball.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
So we'll watch it one more time here. Good play, good read. All right. And look, if things happen from time to time, totally fine. Right? Sometimes just out of habit, you're like, bam, spin move, bam, juke move. Okay, fine. Own it. All right? And say, like, yeah, my bad, like I messed up, right? But when it becomes a habit and you see, like, the same thing over and over and over, it's definitely something that we got to work on. All right, we're going to go to 17. So, go ahead.
In that situation, you prefer, you're going to tell guys in that situation to just
run
stiff arm?
Stiff arm if you want, or just like keep running the ball. Like just run like a normal. Like it in this very specific situation, right? So let's go. Let me go back. 17, 16 is where we'll go next, but let's go back to the 10:30. All right, I'll show you what I mean. So, let's let it get where it was at.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
So the defender crashes on him really quick, and he takes he immediately had to hit the juke the second he caught it. That's why I have a problem with this play. Like the second he catches the ball, he's already hit the juke move, and the guy's like doing like back-to-back moves, right? Like catching, juking, like all in the same motion, which isn't possible. If he catches if this defender, I got it paused at 10:28. If this defender that got juked is not there, let's say that guy is not, if that guy is not in the picture, and this defender to the left, who's at like the 45-yard line, 46-yard line, if this running back catches the ball, doesn't juke, and then this defender at the 45 crashes down, he can juke him. That's I'm totally fine with that. It's the catch, juke, catch, spin, back-to-back, same move, bam, bam. Like, that's the problem I have. Because, like, a human can't catch a ball, plant with one step as he catches the ball, and juke move to the right all in the same motion. Like, it just physically isn't possible. The same as a receiver, I cannot catch the ball, tuck it, see the defender, and spin as I'm bringing the ball in while keeping my speed up. Like, that's not even human. Like, no human can do that. We can do that in a video game, but a human can't do that. So that's why it breaks FPR, because it's a thing that the game allows that just is an unfair, stupid thing that we don't need to be doing here to win a game, right? Because it just doesn't make sense. So again, in my opinion, this defender right here in the center is not there. This defender at the 45 is crashing down. If he catches the ball, takes 3 or 4 steps, and then jukes that guy, totally cool with it. It's the catch, juke, all in the same motion. That's the problem I have.
That's what I was fixing to clarify. In that situation, you want him to take 3-4 steps before he hits a spin or a juke.
Yeah, here's why I'm hesitating saying that, because then guys are going to start holding me. Well, he only took 2.5 steps. Like, I'm not interested in counting steps. Like, I just... Look, you watch more film than anyone in this league. I have to freaking bombard you all the time. Your wife is going to murder me whenever y'all finally come visit here in New Orleans because of all the time I make you pull away from her. But, like, I'm not going to make people watch video to count steps. So I'm not putting steps on it. It's like, just use your brain, guys. Like, just, like, be cool about it and play normal football. We know... Again, a guy cannot catch a ball and at the exact same time as he's catching a ball, spin or juke or jump or slide or anything. He can stiff arm. Like, I'm totally fine with that. But he can't do all those other things. So, yeah, that's why I have a problem with it. Because, in my opinion, it's not humanly possible. And I pause. I just don't want to put a hard number of, it's got to be five steps after. Because now and then guys will be petty and be like, oh, he took 4 3/4 of a step. Okay.
You just want to keep it realistic.
Yeah, just keep it realistic. Don't do 2 things back to back, right? If I know that I'm throwing to my running back, I don't have my hand on my analog stick immediately ready for him as soon as he makes the catch to hit a juke, or my finger on the spin button, so immediately after he catches it, I'm hitting the spin move. And if that's a habit of yours, which since it is, I don't think he's sitting there waiting to do it. I think it's just like reaction. It's like he catches the ball, he sees a defender crashing, he's just reacting of, I need a juke, I need to spin, right? So I don't think he's like this mastermind of Madden that's sitting there, able to break down every screen frame of video. I think it's just reaction, but it's a reaction that has to be broken. So we're going to go to 1709, and this is where we had a double spread. We haven't seen a ton of this, but a few times we have seen. You're going to see Cincinnati pick a play here, spread his defensive line, spread his linebackers. So you'll see defensive line there, linebackers there, backed up the cornerbacks, scooted the cornerbacks back. So that's a problem, right? The reason this has become a problem is because the game, if you go do any research on Madden, the devs admit, like, these are not humans, right? This is all computer controlled by code and by all kinds of stuff. So when we start messing with sliders, when we start messing with assignments, like all of these adjustments that you're allowed to make, it does mess with AI. Well, one of the things that we found that really can, give an unfair advantage to a team is when you spread linebackers and spread the defensive line, it messes up the blocking for all of these offensive linemen, and it confuses them of where exactly they're going to go, and so we start seeing them leave men wide open for unblocked, easy, like, breakthroughs or sacks or whatever. So that's why we've said you can pinch or spread or shift left or right the linebackers or the defensive line, but you can't do them both in the same play. You got to pick one or the other. And we don't want to see you shifting, spreading, bunching every single play. It should just be like a strategy that you use when you think a certain play is coming because of these AI flaws. Now, I don't know if this play actually shows a breakdown in AI, but I just know that it does show, hey guys, we can't be spreading and pinching linebackers, and it's not like spreading both or pinching both. It's doing either to both. You got to pick one or the other.
Like I said, it's pretty simple. If you move your linemen, don't touch your linebackers. I went ahead and looked ahead. I thought maybe he audible to a wide formation, or some of those nickels can get really funky.
Yep.
But it is just a base 4-3, and it's just a base, a regular alignment. So yeah, like I said, this is an easy one to fix. If you spread your defensive line out, leave your linebackers alone, or vice versa. And kind of like you said, though, you shouldn't be doing it every play. But if you're going to do it, you got to leave one alone.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's no problem with him spreading these defensive line out, but leave those linebackers alone. And actually, in this play, but Chaotix did run up the middle, get 3 yards. He actually made his. I know that it's supposed to mess with the AI, but against that run right there, it really almost messed him up.
It did.
But yeah, that's just an easy fix. Just if you mess with one, don't mess with the other one.
All right, let's go to 26-23. So it's 2:35 in the second quarter of this game. This is going to be another, again, common play that we're seeing where guys are struggling with this coach or playing their zone. Again, I don't expect guys to be perfect. I don't play the zone perfect all the time, right? Like, the defense is not. Okay, how can I say this? So, the point of playing your zone is to stop players from roaming. what we're trying to avoid is guys going out and getting 88 speed, 60 overall linebackers that we've seen Ducks do in the past, cover 75% of the field with that player on every pass play by playing zone, get 17 picks in a season, right, and just completely shut guys down with a fast player. That's what we're trying to avoid because it's not realistic. At the same time, I'm not trying to disqualify and hamper guys who have gotten really good at the sticks. Like, there should be some level of being rewarded of being good at the sticks and controlling your player. I will always say, and I do it at every play, I don't keep it every play, but I start every play with it, L1. It's not a rule. It's just a good suggestion. If you want to help your players stay in their zone, if you're getting in trouble or if you're getting feedback, negative feedback that you're not staying in your zone, just hold L1 and your player will immediately start to play in their zone. The reason I do it, and I'll tell guys, is that I play safety, and so I L1 because if it's a run play, the computer will automatically just come down and play the run. And if it's a pass play, he'll play the pass. And it helps me not get tricked by a play action, right? Because like a lot of people, sometimes I'll bite hard on those play actions. I'll get burnt. And sometimes it takes me way out of my zone because I bit on a play action, which is another thing. If you play action somebody and it works, you can't cry foul that they were out of their zone. No, dummy. You played play action and it worked. You got to go burn them for that. Like, I'm not going to go – I feel like some of these feedbacks get tick for tat petty stuff. It's like, oh, he was out of his zone. Well, yeah, you played 3 tight end play action and he bit hard on the run. Yeah, he was out of his zone. He was supposed to be. That's the whole point of the play that you call, right? Excuse me. So I don't expect guys to play perfect. I start off with L1, and then from there just kind of decide where the play's going. I play a lot of cover 2-man with 2-man deep. And so the reason, because I don't want to get burnt deep. But like if I'm playing cover 2-man and you don't send anybody deep and instead you send 2 post routes to the center of the field, like I don't have to go get burnt by your 2 post routes just because I call cover 2-man. Like my zone is that deep zone. So if I don't have anybody in my zone, I'm allowed to go play that next zone where I have a man closest. And if you weren't playing the safety, if you were playing defensive line, the computer would do that. It would play whatever man was closest to their zone as possible. And so if I'm covering like a middle, if I'm covering a deep middle, and you run 4 drag routes, my guy has the ability to come up to play a short middle zone because there's nobody going deep, right? And so as an offense, you guys have to learn to be patient, that if you're calling certain plays that's going to draw a defense to a certain area of the field, then you have to be patient and try to burn them into the zone that they're escaping and leaving, which is why we have high pass block sliders, because you now have more time to be patient and let those plays develop. Or you have to avoid throwing towards the defender. So it is like there's a fine line here of allowing the defense to have the flexibility, to cover zones of where the play is going, but also, again, if you're on the left side of the play, covering a left zone, and he's throwing a right comeback route, you're not allowed to take that left outside linebacker who's covering a left zone and go all the way to the other side of the field and pick off a right side comeback. If you know the play's going to the right side, then you need to play a right, a strong safety, a right outside linebacker, a right cornerback, right? You need to go play a position over there that will allow you to make that play. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Because I feel like this stuff is simple, but yet guys make it really confusing.
No, I understand what you're saying. Me and Dawson have had that conversation. Covering your zone to when nobody's in your zone, being able to kind of like you said, that nearest zone,
yeah,
kind of fading over to that zone. I think there's a fine line between, you know, getting to the border of your zone or you know, kind of playing over to completely going across the field.
Sure.
And, you know, middle linebacker covering a drag to the sideline.
But here's the point. Like, gray areas are not against FPR. Gray areas are not doing things in such a way that it's giving somebody an unfair advantage to win a game, right? Like doing blatant open things are going to be, because what you're talking about, right? Nobody being in your zone, so you're going to cover another zone. We're talking what, 4, 5 plays tops a game?
Right.
Right? We're not talking about 10 plays a game. We're not talking about 15 plays a game. Now, if you're doing this 15, 20 times, like, you got a problem, and we got to break it. And you'll see in this play here, I'm at 26-29 of this game. Jackson, he's playing Jackson, which is a slot cornerback. He's man defense. So this is a man defense. He's supposed to be covering 84. And you're going to see here, he completely abandons this play and double teams another wide receiver. Again, against FPR. That's why we're showing it, and it's something we should avoid. But I will say he completely abandons 84. Like, if you watch this play, sorry guys, I'm still like really sick. If you watch this play, he so far abandons it, like 84 is open for almost like a touchdown. So we'll let it play here. So he's covering 84. Man defense, abandoned. Look, he's so open right now. But Chaotic was not. Oh, this is a screen. That's why. Okay, yes. So, all right. So that, yeah, I didn't realize that. So, yeah. So kudos to Chaotic for doing the right thing. But, yeah, this is against FPR, right? Like, let's go back. If you're in man defense and you know a screen's coming, then you need to play a linebacker. You need to play something else that's covering that running back and go blow that up. You can't take this cornerback, even if that was a linebacker, and just completely abandon. Like, that's against FPR. And that's what we're trying to avoid.
Now, see, from my perspective, I don't play anything really but linebacker. Safety every little bit, but your linebacker in this case usually is already manned up on that running back.
Yeah.
Which I know his safety right now for some reason is doing, I think because he's blitzing on this play. But his safety's on that running back right there. But usually, most users, you're already on that running back. I can see where you're reading that play, you jump it. And I'm not going to lie, Chaotic's better than a lot of guys because a lot of guys would have hit that vertical route on a screen. I've seen it done. They would have seen that guy cheat over and he'd have hit the go route. And I think you've covered that before about being cheesy and taking the vertical route on the screenplay. Kay was probably really nice there and didn't take that one. I imagine he was cussing behind the scenes. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
But yeah, you can't just – I mean, like I said, you're manned up with that guy. I don't know at what point you have just a straight abandon it. Maybe when the ball leaves, that.
Yeah,
that
I mean, to me, you're right. If the quarterback, if you followed your guy and the quarterback threw the ball, and you then you can abandon it. In my opinion, though, like now I'm kind of like talking myself out of it because it is a close play, right? It's not like he immediately abandoned it from the snap. But I could see the complaints, right?
I could tell you once he realized what was going on, it was like he knew. I mean,
yeah.
you know what a screenplay. I know from a linebacker perspective, which that's usually my assignment. You're either blitzing or you're on that running back, and so you see the screen coming, you jump on it. But when you're that guy, playing that one right there, you can't. I don't know. It's a tough line because, man, that's.
I agree with you. This is a tough one. I don't have again. But we're talking about one play, right? Like, if that one play happens, I'm not even having a conversation with an owner. I'm like, it's not worth having a conversation about. I think I would probably rather see him follow his guy because he chose that, right? Nobody made him choose the left outside cornerback. If he was playing defensive lineman, his cornerback would have followed that receiver at least until the catch was made. So in my opinion, you need to follow that guy at least till the catch is made, or as soon as you know it's a screen, you're just swapping players. You're not taking that cornerback way away from the play all the way down to the right side. Is it completely against FPR? No. Is it borderline? Yes. If it happens 7, 8 times a game, now we got a problem, right? Happens 1 time a game, not a problem. Which is why I think this is a great way to watch this video together. No, I just do this live. Because this is the real things that we have to figure out and as we kind of go through, and that's why I thought this would be a good way to do this. So now I'm at 30-16, and this will be the last one we watch here, and then we'll go watch a little bit of the Titans-Bengals game. So this was another one that Chaotic felt like he did not play his zone. So we got like a, full man in the box. I don't even know what the defensive call is here. Full press. We're inside the 15-yard line. Bengals trying to put some pressure on. Let's see what happens here. So he's playing the middle linebacker.
First down, Mayfield.
And he almost gets the pick. All right, so he's playing totally fine. Like, I don't know what Chaotic is saying in this play. All right, let me make sure I got the timestamp of this right. No, maybe I don't. Maybe it's the next play. I think it's the next play. Yep, I think I got the times. That was totally legit, right? So, great play of FPR. He played a middle zone because he thought that the slant or something might be coming. And he stayed there. It took maybe like half a step to the right and to the left. But, like, he's got a couple yards there that he can roam in. He's playing the middle zone. A great FPR play there. I think this is the one. I was a little early. So he's playing the free safety on this play.
Here's Mayfield. And Callaway taking it in left side. And he'll go down.
So Chaotic felt that was the play that he didn't play. And you'll see why, because in this play, that safety is supposed to be playing back. And we'll go back and watch again. He immediately comes up on the snap. So he waits a second. There's like a little pause there. And then he comes... Oh, I'm running too fast. There's a pause, right? So the play snaps. There's a couple of seconds there. He pauses. And then he immediately begins to step up. I'm totally fine with this play. I don't think that just because at the snap, because he's covering a deep zone, he should immediately run 5 yards back. I just don't... Yeah, that's using FPR to your advantage to get, an advantage on offense. I don't think he did anything wrong here. He waited to see the play develop. He is in the red zone. It's a much tighter zone here. This is one of the plays I disagree with. All right, he's throwing the screen, and he reacts to the screen. He comes in. He fills in a little bit of a gap there between his cornerback and his middle linebacker. As soon as he reads the screen, he comes up and he makes a play. And actually, he misreads the play. Like if the Browns would have been a little bit more patient and cut it back in, he'd have been able to make a play. I think this play is totally fine. What do you think?
Like I said, he didn't charge. I've seen that before where the safety, as soon as the ball snapped, charges.
That's a problem, right?
Which would have been a problem.
Yeah.
Pausing
and waiting, not a problem.
I think he reacted real fast, which is not necessarily a bad thing. He's seen what the play happened. He did stay there. He stayed there for a second, and then he charged up. Now, I will say the screen right there versus zone, like I said, unless he goes inside, you're kind of limited what he's going to get off that anyway. But I'm torn on that one because I just think he reacted well. Yeah. I don't think he charged right off the bat. Nope. Now, at the snap, when he sees it's a screen, if he'd have just bolted as soon as he's seen it, I would have had to say that I would have not agreed to it. But I thought he stayed back.
I agree.
He just timed it perfect on that play.
I think if at this snap, right, like we're at 31 minutes right here, so he snaps the ball. I'm gonna pause it right at snap. So right here at snap, this defender doesn't move. His safety does not move. You can see the dotted line where he's supposed to come back and cover like by the N and the G, like this little area right here, right? But you're in the red zone. He hasn't moved. He reads that everything's going to be sharp. This is what we were talking about a while ago, right? He doesn't have to punish himself and come play like in the middle of the backfield at the goalpost because he's in the red zone. Right? That's stupid. No
and like I said,
NFL player is going to do that.
He honestly did take a few steps towards that little arrow. He took steps towards in.
He did. He took some steps in. He reads the screen and reacts really fast. Totally fine with that.
From my perspective, like I said, he's and I can see where because like I said, probably this play happened and he reacts really fast to it. You wouldn't think that he sat back there, but he literally, if you let the play out, he took 2 or 3 steps, seen what happens, and then came up. I think once the ball was in the air, I think honestly the ball had left the quarterback's hand before he moved, and I think the ball was leaving the quarterback's hand, and he made a play on it.
Yep. I think this is a legit good FPR. I have no problem with it. All right, now we're going to move over to the Bengals-Titans game. I did get permission to play this game. Lower the volume down a little bit. So, here's the backstory of this game. Neither owner submitted bad FPR on each other. This was actually a regular owner. We're just going to watch this, so I don't know if you got it up live or how you want to watch it with me. You can see the Bengals right here making those aggressive coach adjustments. So, I believe him when he tells me that's what he does. I do think that it gives him an advantage, and we may even have to, now that I think about this video going out, everybody's going to start doing aggressive catch, and so we may even have to make a move of, I hate changing rules mid-season, but we may have to ban these aggressive coach adjustments.
What are the negatives of it? Is there a negative to that?
Well, the negative is supposed to be more drops, but because... So here's I guess there's a longer backstory to this, is we adjusted our catch rating pretty high. It's at like 90 because I did tons of testing. I mean, hours upon hours of testing. At 90, we still see drops, but we avoid... Sorry, this cough drop's killing me. We avoid what we had in Season 1, where we had literally some teams had 40 and 50 drops. It just, the number was like stupid high. We were having drops every play. And I was trying to get it realistic, right? I was trying to get it to where guys were catching balls they should and dropping balls they should. I think the problem with that has been if guys set it to aggressive, because our catch rating is so high, you won't see the amount of drops that they should if they were normally set on aggressive. So the payoff is if you have it set aggressive, you might make some one-handed catches and some big catches, but you're going to have a higher amount of drops. But because of our sliders, it actually works against us, and he has he has less drops than he should. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so he pretty much takes all the, I mean, not him, but the way the set ratings are, or the sliders are set, it takes away the negative of the aggressive.
It takes away almost all the negative, right? Which is a problem that we have to work on. So I don't know. I'll talk to the board and we'll kind of make a decision on that. We've tested these on. The only thing banned right now is aggressive defensive line, and it's the same reason, because players play better than their ratings. And we don't want that. That's counterintuitive of what we're trying to do here. So what you'll see here, and we're just going to watch, I don't know, I don't even know that we'll watch the whole first half. We'll just watch till we feel like we've seen enough. I just want to kind of get your live feedback as we watch. A lot of the problems that we're going to see here are sack in the box because of cover 1, cover 3. It's just still a struggle. Guys, you have to manually move or man align or not call as many cover 1, cover 3 because it stacks the box. You see the first one right here. This is what I'm going to pause, or I'm not going to pause. This is what I would call a stack box, right? There's 8 players in that little linebacker box zone, and it just makes things really, really difficult. Stack box, a lot of closed bunch formations from the Bengals. And then a lot of like drags, posts, slants that you let go a long, long way, skinny posts, like drag-ish type routes that we lean on. So right here, third down, we come out in bunch, right? It's a habit that we have to break, because those bunch formations, just like the pinching and the bunching, of, see, that play right there, totally fine with, right? He juked that guy way, way, way downfield. Totally fine. But anyway, just like pinching and spreading of the linebackers and defensive line messes with the assignments, bunched in closed formations, you're going to see him come out in a closed formation right here. It does the same thing. It messes up the AI for who's supposed to cover who.
I know I'm a little step behind you because I'm just now seeing the juke with Ross. But yeah, if you have bunch or even like I said that 3 tight end bunch, anything with bunch, you're gonna bring extra defenders in the box. If you run bunch, run closed formations, anything like that, you almost have to neglect some of the, I guess you say the 8-man in the box because it's just naturally gonna put unless they're just playing very loose coverage, they're gonna bring 8 guys in the box. Now, but if it's a regular I formation like we've seen, I want to say on that second down. He was in regular strong I formation, I think, and he had 8 guys in the box. Like right here, I know I'm a step behind you at 8:45. He runs close, strong. I'd like to see what defense he just called.
Cover one man, because you see he had eight in the box.
He had 8 guys in the box, and then really, if you want to look at that, because he played close, you had 10 guys in the box. If you really want to, because you play strong eye close. So I want to know is that catch right there that he caught the touchdown with was that due to the aggressive catch?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the problem that we have, right? And here's where, since he's asked for feedback, here's where guys lean on, and here's why, here's the issue. So I reversed it, and you might see that now. I'm back at 9:24 in the first quarter. This is the big play to Green. I think it was Green. Yeah, it was Green, right? So Green's running this. I don't know what you would call this. This is not really a drag. It's not really a skinny post. It's kind of it's a combination of the two. It's a weird, some call it a flag route, whatever you want to call this. It's kind of a skinny post turned into a slant turned into a post. You're going to see him running this for a big play. So bunch formation, already going to allow for a big play. Bam, it's Ross. So he hits Ross on the drag, but it's a draggy route. Right, so followed up immediately from that play. So from a skinny post and a drag combination, again, I have a problem with this right here. So it's called a cross drag. The reason I have a problem with this route combination, especially when it's used often, is because this is, again, Cincy and I have had this conversation. What guys tend to do is they know, okay, if this guy's playing zone, if he's going to man up, and play like one of the defenders, whether it's linebacker, cornerback, safety, if I run 2 guys into his zone, he's going to have to pick one. And when he picks one, I'm going to throw to the opposite, and it's going to lend to a big play. So that's what happened here, right? He's got 2 guys going into the exact same zone, and if he waits long enough, both of these zones are going to get to the far right where they're just out of defenders, and if he's manned up on one of those defenders, he's going to have to pick one. He's going to hit the opposite one. It's going to lend to a big play. That's exactly what happened.
And Tim played into that.
With the blitz.
Linebacker blitz.
Yeah, sure.
And short routes. And like you said, you got one defender trying to guard. Tim, that was the worst case scenario for Tim there.
Absolutely. And again, it's not a bad call. The call isn't bad. The call is totally fine. It's when you see that type of call 10 times a game, right? 8 times a game. Now that's a problem. Or every third down, or every time I need a big play because I'm down by 2 touchdowns. That's when it becomes a problem, is when you lean on it whenever you need something. So you follow that play up with what I'm pretty sure is double post routes. This is why guys get annoyed, right? So we're following a draggy, posty route play up with another closed formation, so a bunch formation followed by a closed formation, double post for a touchdown, right? That's where it just becomes a little frustrating, right? Play action, deep cross. Again, this isn't truly a post route. It's one of those, skinny post route situations with a post route. But again, we just ran 2 plays back-to-back with the same type of route ran for 2 big plays, a big play and then a touchdown. And yes, the defense didn't help, right? He called defenses that's going to lend him to being burnt on those types of plays. But I paused because we ran the same style of play back to back. right? This should have been something different, right? It just should have been.
It's a very, like I said, it's a very similar play call. It's a close formation. Now we'll tell you, this is an example where I'm going to tell Tim, I'm proud of Tim for calling a cover one. A lot of people don't like to call cover ones because it is susceptible to get beat. In that situation, if I'm me, I man align that because since he's smart enough to see that you got 8 guys in the box, he can really narrow down what you just called. If you base align that, you got 2 safeties deep. It hides your defense better. I'm trying to give some of my tips away. Hides your defense better to where you can call plays like that you need to call.
Yep.
Because you need to call cover one, stuff like that.
But it's also to help with FBR because Tim got moved to stage 2 or 3 on this game because he had 8 men in the box the whole game. Like 10 times in the first half that I recorded, those were, I think, 2 plays back-to-back that we've seen right there. So, again, the man align is not only going to help you disguise your defense and hide your defense, but it's also going to help you beat FPR and get that 8th man out of the box.
Well, kind of like you said, it's kind of hard. You ran 2 plays against it that, like I said, aren't against FPR if you're not running them repetitively, or a lot of them, but then you run 8 guys in the box against them. And so it's 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
So
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be
So I don't think that there's a whole lot on Tim or a whole lot on Cincy's defense. We're going to kind of forward along here because I don't want to waste people's time.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
It's like a little nickel formation. Again, it's leaning on the closed and bunched, compressed formations on 3rd down, which tends to be a problem. Right there. I don't have a problem with this play at all. But now if Tim runs this post route every 3rd down in some different formation or in some different style, but every 3rd down we're going to a post route, that's a problem. Tim doesn't do that. That's not what he was doing. I'm just using this as an example because we've seen it, right? I do give Cincyberg props. He found an opportunity to call man defense on 3rd down, another dilemma that people struggle with in this league. Find opportunities to call man defense on 3rd down. That was a great opportunity to do that. He got burnt by a post, no big deal. All right, come back and play again. Oh, that's a perfect play. I want to go back and see that again. So at 2:41, I'm going to replay. You're going to see that he calls a cover 1 or cover 3. You automatically know that because he's got 8 man in the box, but he knows that. So Cincyberg selects that strong safety or the strong safety and pushes him back immediately. So he's in the box. He selects him. He immediately pushes him back. Like, that is what you're supposed to do when you're calling a cover 1 or a cover 3. I think he calls a cover 1 right here. Right?
It's a cover 1. Yes, right.
Yeah. It's a perfect way to stop that. So here's another. I'm glad this play happened. So it's perfect on a couple of reasons. So here's another kind of issue that came up. So this is 1st and 10 on the 40. I think it was a 4-yard gain. So 45-yard line. 6:44 in the first quarter. This is not a normal shotgun call. Like this is not. You just wouldn't see shotgun in this type of situation most of the time, and I'm okay with it here. Like in this specific situation, if you're mixing it up, if you're trying to catch a team, kind of, in a bad defense and hit them for a big play, whatever. But when you start doing this 6 times a game, right? You're running weird shotgun 1st down runs 6 times a game. Like that's a problem, right? If you're running, and that's what ended up happening. Now this game gets out of hand, into late in the 2nd quarter, into the 2nd half, and so Tim is then allowed to go to a shotgun offense. But he goes to a shotgun offense here when the game is not out of hand. The game is still very close. And we're starting to run, like Tim ran a lot of 3 wide, a lot of 4 wide, a lot of shotgun. I kind of lump those all in one. But I hesitate when I see guys running, 6 or 8 shotgun runs. We know that they're easy. We know that the AI blocking gets tricked. And so that's why we tell guys, don't do that. Don't lean on that. And I can hear it in your voice. I know you want to rebuttal me. And I think that you are actually one of the few guys that uses it appropriately, because I've watched a ton of your film, and so say your piece, and then I'll kind of say what I've seen you do when I think is as appropriate as can be.
Well, I was just going to say I was going to get you to clarify to some, because that is one thing that I do get asked a lot about is when are shotgun runs appropriate, and I'll let you answer that in a second, if you could. Now I speak from when I watch film and from when I play. From when I watch film, when I really hate seeing shotgun runs, I hate seeing shotgun runs inside the 5-yard line.
Oh God,
I hate seeing shotgun runs on 3rd and 2 or 2nd and 2. Any short yardage situation, I think is real cheesy, in my opinion, to run shotgun runs.
I agree
because,
with
like you said, it is. Now, from my side of the perspective, if I get sacked on 1st down, and I know Nate has spoke against, he doesn't like 2nd and long shotgun runs. If I get sacked on 1st down, it's 2nd and 20 or 3rd and 20. And I've tried to, and like I said, I'll let you comment on that. But I like to run shotgun run. I hate saying I'm giving up on that thing, but I'm going to run and get 6 yards and punt the ball. But I'll let you comment on that.
So I don't know that I'm. If you did that if you had 8 2nd and longs a game and you did that every 2nd and long, I got a problem with it. Right.
Right.
I don't think that you do that. I do. That's exactly what I was going to say. I know that you do, though. I know that if you get Dwayne in any 1st and long, 2nd and long, you should expect the draw. You should expect the shotgun run. That's what you. Now, if he mixes that up, then that's up. You may get burnt. But that's what you should come out expecting, because I understand that's your mindset. Your mindset is, let me get my 5 to 8 yards back. Let me get this in a manageable down and distance where I can maybe make a 1st down here. But I'm not going to push myself, and I'm going to punt the ball, and I'm going to play really great defense. I'm totally fine with that. It's the 3rd and 2s. It's the 1st and goal from the 6, and I'm running shotgun. It's a 1st and 10 from the 20, and I just want to get a random 12-yard gain. Again, if you do that once or twice a game, I get it. Strategy. You're mixing it up. You're keeping the defensive team on their toes. Totally fine with that. But if you're doing that again 5, 6, 7 times a game, that's a problem, right?
Right.
Again, I just go back to, if you do anything 6, 7, 8, 10 times a game, you know that you're doing it. None of us are that stupid. We all know, okay, I just ran, for me, for instance, right? We know the post route works really well. Okay, the last 2 3rd downs, I hit a post route. I'm not going to throw the post route no matter what this next 3rd down, right? I'm just not. I'm gonna run something else. I'll take the loss. I'll punt the ball. Those are the types of decisions we have to make, right? And I've made them. And I know 2 games ago, I think it was against the Packers where I tossed, I haven't played well quarterback since then, but his defense was making me go to my 3rd and 4th reads. And sometimes that 3rd and 4th read was a post route. And so I knew, 3 of my last 5 big plays have been the post route. I'm just going to try to find plays that don't have post routes. I'll run crosses. I'll run comebacks. I'll run slants. I'll run drags. I'm going to find something else to throw, because 3 of my last 5 big plays have been the post route, and it's going to be a problem if I keep throwing the post route. Even though it was my 3rd or 4th route, choice, I still hit it, and I still hit it for a big play, so I need to mix it up. Does that make sense?
It does, and because I have a play that not that I call, but I see a lot, and I'll say I have called the play before. It's I can't remember. It's like a shotgun dagger play, or maybe like a 3 wide single back play where the tight end just runs a drag, and you have the receivers go out. Pretty much, I think one runs a dig, one runs a post, and the other side runs a post, and usually the tight end's wide open every time on the drag route. It's another play to where I don't think it's wrong to run the play. But if every 3rd and 4 you throw to that tight end on the drag, especially excessively, and I know we really I'm trying to throw my words together. We try to beat it to you that anything in excess is wrong.
Right.
Anything in excess is wrong. But like you said, you run a post 2 or 3, every 3rd down, and you get a 1st down. You probably should mix it up. I think it's kind of like you said. If it's it's hard to say, but anything in excess, I guess you can just summarize it. Anything in excess is not good. And you go back to shotgun runs. You're talking about mixing it up. I'll say that from a strategic standpoint, if if the defense is going to go dime or quarter against you on 3rd and 12, I'll tell guys all day, hey, throw them a run.
Yeah.
Keep them honest.
Yeah.
But I get to rambling here.
No.
But yeah, like you said, you run post on back-to-back 3rd down plays, and they're successful. And I know guys really want to lean, and I get that. You want to lean to what's successful because nobody wants to do something that they know is not going to work. But find something else. If you run 2 post routes on back-to-back 3rd down plays and get it, let's try to find something else. Run Tyreek Hill on a go route and throw it to Tyreek Hill, or find a dig route. There's plays that work. You watch somebody like Cincy, watch Nate, watch Maniac, watch some of these guys that can pick apart a defense with a quarterback, and you'll find that on some of these plays, man, there's 2, 3, 4 routes. If you have time, you can get an open play that you don't have to lean on that post route every time.
So here, we just watched, right, he did a shotgun trap run on 1st and 10. He follows it up on 2nd and 6 with another shotgun play. Right, and again, it's just like really random. It's in the 1st quarter. It's early. He's at midfield. It's just not making sense to me, right? Like, again, FPR is here to keep things even and fair. And these are the type of things that I'm not really understanding, right? Whenever guys call this types of stuff.
I know you want to keep kind of like you're talking about calling another shotgun play. I'm not seeing a play yet. Now I'm seeing it kick in now. I know you want to mix things up, throw people off. But like I said, it is early. I know I came out. I don't know who I played a couple weeks ago. First play, nobody ever expects me to come out 5 wide. I came out 5 wide very first play just to throw a kink in the system. But I'm trying to see what play he runs here.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up.
Okay, that was a horrible throw. I don't know if they got tipped.
Yeah,
or what it was.
He also missed a wide open player.
Now, if you could, that play right there, the halfback wheel play is another play, and usually it's out of the split formation. Is another play that I see on 3rd down that is a hell of a go-to play. And hey, I will say that back in my Falcon days, Devontae Freeman was a hell of a wheel route runner. But it is a play that you see leaned a lot on. And I don't now you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't have a problem seeing it ran in the game.
Sure. No, it's fine.
If I see it 2 or 3 times, and I have seen it on feedback forums before where guys complain about the wheel route, damn, he just dropped that interception.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that play.
But that wheel route, it's kind of go like the post route. If on 3rd and 12 I see the same split formation halfback, it's wrong if you run that repetitively.
See, that's the issue, right? Like, it's not – sometimes I feel like I'm speaking a different language. The issue isn't the play.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the sharp halfback wheel. Actually, I love that play. I rarely throw that. I think I've thrown 1 halfback wheel in my entire Madden 19 career this year, right? Like, because I love this comeback route. I love the multiple variations I have here, right? If I need a short, if I need 4 or 5 yards, I got the drag route quick. If he's playing me a deep zone, then I've got the comeback, right? I've also got the cross route if he, gets lost with his middle linebacker. And then if I get a lot of time, I can hit that post route. It's just a lot of options for the defense on this play. But exactly what you said. If I see this play or a variation of a wheel route, whether it's tight end wheel route, fullback wheel route, halfback wheel, if I see some kind of wheel route every 3rd and long, every 2nd and long, you got a problem, bro. And you're not mixing it up. Like you're leaning on something because you know it works instead of mixing your play calling up and being strategic. And the whole point of all of this is that when you get 2 guys who are playing straight FPR and keeping things fair, there's nothing more enjoyable. It is a straight back and forth chess match of give and take and strategizing about how I'm going to attack them. And all right, that didn't work. I'm going to change this or I'm going to change that. Like, there's just nothing more enjoyable. And on the flip side of that coin, there's nothing less enjoyable than playing somebody that just takes advantage of flaws in the game. And this is one that we've talked about a lot, right? That halfback lurk and that staying in zone. So let's talk about this play next. It's 3rd and 6. I want to point out this is the 3rd straight shotgun play for the Titans on this play. All right, so he flips the play. So this is a man defense. Originally, this free safety would be in a deep zone, but he flips the play. It's probably an auto flip. I didn't even notice. So now he's playing this free safety who's covering man defense in this receiver. He's way, way off. He doesn't break FPR. He doesn't take this guy and bring him way, way up and cover him. He keeps him where he's at because this is the defense he called. All right, he's going to man up on that free safety. And he plays this, in my opinion, perfect. Immediately starts coming in, right? He's covering his man. He's trying to find out where's he going, right? Is he going to run this comeback? Is he running it across? He stops. He sees it's a comeback route. He gets burnt a little bit. All right, it's not a great throw. He's late on the throw, and he makes a great play here. Steps up, should have got the pick. I mean, this is just, in my opinion, this is a great defensive FPR play from Cincyberg. He played it perfect, and if everybody played every play this way, whether it's man or zone, we'd be just fine. We'd have no FPR issues. This was a great user play. He wasn't awarded for a great user play, but that was a good call.
Yeah, I agree. He's in man-to-man defense. He plays his man. I think if he threw that ball quicker, it would have been a completion.
Yeah.
Threw it late, it should have been an interception. That's a frustrating one. I will say that from a user standpoint to drop that kind of play.
Especially when you make the right call and you make the right play, it is super.
I will say that's one of the ones right there where you're talking about he came up on the snap, but he's in man-to-man defense against that guy. You can't expect that safety to sit 15 yards off the ball in man-to-man defense in that situation.
No, he played that perfect. Another issue that came up in this game that we've seen a lot, if anybody goes back and watches, is the Titans blitzed almost every second down, and it was kind of an all-out blitz. And that's, again, it goes back to doing the same things over and over and over. Just like if second down is the down that you like to blitz on, mix it up. You know, different types of blitzes. Don't call blitz every second down. Call it on first down. Like, just mix it up if you're a blitzing team and change that. Here's another thing that's kind of come up with Cincy that you see him do a lot here. So you'll see on this play, you've probably noticed it a couple of different plays. Cincy calls a lot of audibles. That's just another habit that you got to break, right? I'm fine with audibles, but they shouldn't happen more than 5-8 times a game, maybe, right? That's high. You should know what you're going to call. You should know your playbook. You should call the play that you want to run and come out and run it. And if they surprise you on defense or they come out in a play that you weren't expecting, then you can audible out of it. But you need to be calling the play that you want to run with the down and distance that you have. It shouldn't be something that you're audibling 50% of the game.
Did you back the tape up?
I did. I backed it up a little too far.
Okay, I was like, man, he blitzed again.
No, this is the same thing. So you'll see, not this play, but the next play. This was a good play. He kind of missed a wide open street guy there that I would have thrown. But here's one of the problems I have with cover 2 zone is you'll see on that cover 6, if you go back and watch it, that cornerback never plays that short zone. He follows that guy all the way. But right here, you see, right? He calls a play. As soon as he comes out, though, he's audibly. Just pick the play you want to run and run the play. That's what should be done. And that's what we got to try to do.
Let me ask you a question that I guess you call it the middle linebacker, even though it's in a set defensive formation. That linebacker follows that tight end all the way to the left.
Yep, he shouldn't have.
Okay.
Yep, we'll go back and watch it again.
And I think that's what – and he got a cover sack on that. He tried to get out of the but like I said, I didn't go back to look at the streak you were talking about, but I was watching that linebacker follow him across.
Yep, we'll watch it one more time. He followed him too far. He was right on the edge of not being too far, but then he kept following him too far, right? If he stops at this defensive end, I'm fine with it, but he follows him a couple steps way too far.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You have
right
a
there.
right to...
See, if he would have, let me rewind that a little bit. All right, I'm gonna pause it if he would have stopped. All right, so the defensive alignment, he's covering this middle hash. Now the defensive alignment pre-snap has him all the way to the left, but that's not his zone. His zone is this middle hash. So I'm fine with him coming all the way and covering this middle hash. If he stops right here, so where he stopped. If he stops right there and then gets back into his zone, totally fine with that, right? Because he covered his zone, he covered his guy up to the next zone, he stopped, he gets back in his zone. And he probably would have made a play here. The problem is he stops for a second, he takes one step to get back into his zone, and where I have it paused right now, he's already started to go back into his zone, but then for whatever reason, he immediately goes back and covers the tight end. That's taking yourself out of your zone. He should have stopped where he stopped and got back into his zone, and he would have been totally fine. Again, it's a gray area. If it happens once, twice, 3, 4 times a game, totally fine with it. If this happens 8, 9, 10 times a game, now we got a problem.
Well, that's what this play, you're talking about the one where he runs the dig route and gets the first down, correct?
Yep.
And what I was actually talking about earlier was that fullback and tight end on that double go where they do they both do the out route. He follows him. Like this one right here, honestly, you have a right to, in my opinion, escort this guy out of your zone.
Oh, absolutely.
He escorts him out. And honestly, if he plays back in his zone, he doesn't get the completion, which makes me think on this one that Cincy, and I've seen it, and I've did it before, call it, he knows that slant. He knows he's going to follow that slant. That thing. And he knows it's going to leave that open, which if you just play your zone, I don't know, maybe the slant's wide open.
Yeah, that's what Cincy leans on, and that's what he's got to break, right? And that's what other guys in this league have to break, is that calling double routes into a zone is not a strategy. If you use that 3 or 4 times a game, whatever, that's fine, but it should not be used a majority of the game. And anytime you see them needing a big play, you're going to see him call double routes into the same type of zone so that the defender, either AI or human, has to make a decision, and he's going to throw the opposite one, and he's really good at it. So I've got it back on the play that you were talking about. I didn't see what play you meant. So he's playing the middle linebacker.
Yes. This is the one I thought you were talking about. Then we started talking about the other one, and he pretty much did the same thing.
So I didn't notice this was a cover 6, right? So So this guy should be covering this middle zone here, right? And so he did that. He let the fullback go. He's covering the tight end. So I'm fine with him covering that tight end. Do you know why I'm fine with him covering that tight end?
Well, that's why I was a step behind you. I was with it playing. Let me see. See, you got you got your streaks, and you got the R1X. Fixing them both go to the thing.
Yep. So the R1 comes across his middle linebacker's face. His middle linebacker is supposed to be covering this middle zone. The fullback comes across his face. He lets him go. The other outside linebacker picks him up in this cover 6. But then the tight end goes behind him. He covers him in his zone, and now he's out of his zone. So if we were just strict FPR, he would technically be out of his zone right now. But there's a very specific reason why I don't have a problem with him covering the tight end. Can you tell me there's nobody there? That's right. If the AI were controlling this middle linebacker, the AI would not be in the middle of this zone.
I was going to say, he leaves, like you're saying there's nobody there to. So he's okay. Now I will say this, I'm not disagreeing with you. But when I take off with Carson Wentz on that right side.
Perfect. He should not be able to roll around with that middle linebacker. He should not be taking that middle linebacker because he just followed that tight end and automatically zoom across the field to get your quarterback. He should not. He got burnt. He should now select a new defender and go get that quarterback.
But this is if you're the offense here, you see him.
I'm bailing. I'm running.
Okay. In this situation, if you're Mariota right here, you're taking off.
I'm gone the second that middle linebacker bails out. If I know my routes, actually for me personally, because I don't have a running quarterback, even though I wish I did, I would have thrown this route to Ross about 10 yards ago. This route's way too late. If he'd have thrown this route when Ross was about the 35, he'd probably hit Ross for a wide open touchdown because Ross has the speed. If Mariota can, if he does a high point lob pass, he's probably going to lob it out there long enough where Ross can go get it and the cornerback's going to be burnt because there's no over-the-top help. He's got a step or two on the cornerback. That's what I'm personally doing. But if I have a running quarterback and I'm too late because I missed the Ross route, the second that middle linebacker bails out, right now, at where I'm paused, I'm bailing. I'm out of there with Mariota. I'm taking off.
I wonder what defense is this, cover 6?
Cover 6. It's a cover 6.
Why does that safety stay right there? Is that where he just?
I have no clue. That's a good question.
I mean, that's what I
That
always
safety
said that the cover
should
6.
be deeper, but I don't know. I don't know if the safety has bad awareness. I don't know if he has bad zone. Right? There's a lot that could go into why.
That was just curious. It wasn't nothing. I was just
No,
curious why.
that's a good question, but yeah. So that's a great play to talk about some of these gray area of FPR that we all are kind of trying to figure out. Again, I don't have a problem. Now, let me back up a little bit. If the fullback runs across, right? Watch the fullback. He'll run across this middle linebacker's face. Now, if that right now, so that fullback just ran across his face. If that middle linebacker follows that fullback all the way over here to the numbers, I have a problem with that. Because there was another guy in his zone. The tight end was still in his zone. But he lets that fullback go, right? He does great right there. He lets him go. He stays in his zone. He's playing it perfect. All right? Now he follows the tight end. Now let's say Ross is running a cross route instead of this go route right now. Let's say Ross runs a deep cross route to the 35 here. Okay, so same play, and just imagine Ross running a deep crossing route. Then this would be non-FPR defense because he would have followed that tight end all the way out, and there would have been somebody in his zone, right? But because this is a go route, again, not using FPR to hurt the defense, he doesn't have to come just sit here in no man's land and do nothing. Now he opened himself up by taking off and following that fullback, that tight end. Excuse me. He left himself open to the quarterback run. Now he got lucky. His defender didn't get blocked, and Mariota was not able to make a big play out of this, but he left himself open. Now here's an argument that I had with an owner in this league. This exact same play happened. He followed a guy way outside of his zone with other guys in his zone, which makes it non-FPR. But he was just like this. So his middle linebacker right now is touching the 30. Mariota's about to be to the numbers. This guy was not this. Yeah, no, he stayed as that middle linebacker because he had a fast middle linebacker. He went from those numbers all the way to the where the NFL logo is to make the play on the quarterback, and wondered why I had a problem with that. Because that's roaming. Literally, that guy would have covered 75% of the field with one player. In my opinion.
In this play, you're wanting him to switch, kind of like he does switch to that defensive end.
Yes.
He gets the user sack eventually.
That's the perfect way to play that. In my opinion, that is the only way to play that. If you are not willing to switch to your defensive linemen, let's say those defensive linemen get blocked and Mariota's just taken off down the field. This middle linebacker is done. He's way out of the play. That player now should select one of these safeties or cornerbacks and come up and make that play. Like your choice of bailing on your zone and bailing out of the play and following that tight end all the way to the sideline means that if there's a play that happens on the opposite sideline, you're done. You're out of the play. You have to select a new player, which you're allowed to do, right? Because the quarterback's running. You're allowed to switch. You switch to a defensive lineman. You switch to another player that is in that zone to make the play. Does all that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not hard, is it?
I think that.
I mean, it's pretty in my opinion, it's like FPR. Our FPR is not confusing and not hard. And when I hear guys like, "Oh, I got to have the handbook next to me," well, I just don't know that excuse flies with me. Like, we've done away with so many rules. Like, don't do anything a majority of the time. Stay in your zone. Avoid money plays, and you'll be fine. Like, you'll get all fives. You'll be perfect FPR. I just don't find it confusing, and I know that guys are having a hard time who are trying to adjust. And I'm hoping that this video, which has now went way longer than I had planned on it going, an hour and a half, I'm hoping this helps because we've pointed out some of not just the issues for these two guys who I got permission for to do this, but these same issues we see a lot of places. It's the zone coverage, it's the 8 in the box, and it's the closed bunch formations / drag routes. And when I say drag routes, I mean like, there's not a good word for it, but posty type routes. Okay, perfect example, right? The Bengals playbook is up right now on a pause play. I didn't even plan this. I just happened to look. Every play on this playbook is what I would call a posty type route, right? The play action deep cross, that's a skinny post and a post route. Double post, the play I tried to get banned this past offseason because it just is a money play. And a play action deep, which is a skinny post. All out of a closed formation. This is why Cincy gets in trouble about these types of plays, because people say he just runs posty type routes out of closed and bunch formations. And it's because the playbook that he's using, which I have no clue what playbook this is, has too many of these plays in them. Personally, when I built my custom playbook, even though I love closed and bunched formations, or at least I did in the past, once I figured out that they are a little bit of a flaw in Madden does cover them better than it did 2 or 3 Maddens ago, but it's still a little bit of a flaw. I have no, outside of shotgun, which is hard to avoid, I have no bunched or closed formations at all. Single back, pro, bunch, not bunch, what's the one called? It's like the Panthers formation where they have the tight end and fullback in the backfield.
The split? You talking about
the
split close one?
No, it's like a triangle in the backfield. Why am I blanking on
Heavy
this?
Panther?
Heavy. It's that, but it's not called that. It's called a pistol. There, that's what I'm trying to think of. So like all the closed bunch pistol formations, I avoid all those. I just didn't put them in the playbook because they're a little bit of a flaw, and so. You can run strong eye. Just don't run strong eye closed. You can run eye formation. Just don't run eye formation closed. Or if you do, run 4 or 5 plays out of it. Don't run 8, 10, 12 plays out of it, right? That's half of your offense.
Well, that's what I was going to get you to clear that up about pistol. Pistol doesn't fall under base formation.
It does.
Does it fall under? I was curious. I've had questions about that too.
Pistol's fine. Now, pistol 3 Maddens ago was an issue, right? But pistol now doesn't. There's no benefit to running pistol from I formation or from strong.
I was going to say your base formation, as long as that pistol is
a normal base pistol. So 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, right? As long as the pistol I run is all normal. So it's going to be full, which has got the tight end and fullback in the backfield. It's going to be double tight end, or it's just going to be normal pistol, which is 1 tight end, 2 receivers, fullback, running back out of a pistol formation.
And I asked that because, somebody asked about the Bills. He's running his option out of that pistol, and they specifically asked if the pistol formation was a base formation, and, I hope y'all are listening to this as if you're running out of a general, like I said, 2 wide receivers, tight end, running back, fullback type of thing.
Same reason we added 2 tight end to base formations, because we're trying to open it up, give guys a little bit more flexibility. I knew that people would have an issue with the Bills' new offense. I've watched very little of his film. He's had very little bad feedback. I think that the little bit of bad feedback he had is just because it was different and people weren't used to it. As long as he's not having 8 to 10 quarterback runs, I think it'll be fine. I think it limits him, honestly. I don't see it being successful. But if it gives him enjoyment and he's having a fun time figuring it up, it gives us some variety as a league. It's a guy who's running a different offense. As long as it's done, it's not being done to have advantages with AI flaws, right? And we can sit here and debate. It's not like there's a list online that we can find of all money plays. It's not like we can find a list of every Madden flaw. But we know what we know, right? We know that this game, there are some things that are overpowered. 2 Maddens ago, cover 2 zone, overpowered. This Madden is not nearly as overpowered. It's still pretty successful, but guys have curtailed their use of it because it's not nearly as overpowered. But we have found that post routes super overpowered this game, right? Especially since we've adjusted the catch to be more realistic. Guys aren't dropping that post route every play like they were in season 1. So now post routes are like all the rage. So we got to be careful with how many post routes we run, right? We know that that 8 in the box can become overpowered to a point where you're now limiting what the offense can do because they can't run against 8 in a box all game. So now they have to pass, right? And if you're blitzing them out of an 8 out of the box, they don't have a lot of time. So it's just like, yes, it's beatable. And guys always say that, well, it's beatable. It is beatable. That's not the point of this league. It's not that things are beatable or not beatable. It's that to beat things, you have to play a certain way. And now we just have the same games over and over, rinse and repeat. And that's not fun for anybody. And that just makes us a competitive league. And we're never going to just be a straight competitive league. It's going to be a fair play, even playing field, competitiveness with rules.
Right. You were talking about the 8 men in the box. 8 men in this box with zone behind it is a huge one. And I get the philosophy behind it. Put 8 guys in the box, stop the run, and if they do call a pass play, you have some time to guard it. My thing is, if you can put 8 guys in the box, at least be man enough, 8 men in the box to run a straight up defense out of it. Now, I will say that I hate 8 men in the box, but I get it. Inside the 10-yard line, I expect 8 guys in the box. At the opposite 30, to run 8 guys in the box back-to-back plays or every first down play gets old. But I don't want to try to be on a rant here. I was just capitalizing on the 8 men in the box thing right there because that's you've seen that as a trend, probably more this Madden than I've ever seen it. Is 8 men in the box. I can't remember last couple cycles of seeing as many complaints about it as we have. But I think you did clarify a lot because I said a lot of people about that. Leaving your zone if nobody's there, and I think guys can see there if it's give or take a little bit. If he's going to leave that zone, there is some negative to it, and I'll say that from a Carson Wentz irritating people example of just getting out of the pocket with that quarterback. But I hope that everybody, and like I said, I was hoping if anybody had any questions that they would ask for clarification on. But I think we've covered, or Nate specifically has covered a lot of questions that I've seen, and I'm sure that other board members or other people in general have seen so far as well.
Yep. Hang on 1 second. I'm sorry, a little work thing. Sorry about that. Real life. Yeah, I look. I think everybody's on the same page too. I honestly, I've only had one owner be really, really stubborn this season. Everybody else has been really open, and one owner who is pretty frustrated, or 2 owners that are pretty frustrated, but one is just frustrated because he feels like he's making the changes, and yet it's not working out for him yet. And then one owner who's just being stubborn. But outside of that, everybody's been super open-minded to the changes in the conversations. And I'm hoping that this video helps people and helps bring some clarity, or at least helps them know that we can have the conversation, right? And we can talk through things, and we can look at film and hop on voice and do what we got to do, and at least talk through some things. Well, I think that's where we're going to stop it. I think I've used enough of your time. I think that we've covered a lot of good things that'll help people. I think we're moving in the right direction. We've had the most warnings this season, but that's because I'm really trying to hold people accountable. And I think that we're in a good spot, though, and we're definitely moving in the right direction. So the new Daddy Leagues page is up. We'll kind of show that really quick since I got you on here. And there's lots of new content on the site. It's had a little bit of a an overhaul and an adjustment. But the new Data Leagues page is up. I hope that you guys enjoy it and like it. It's not perfect on phone. The stats doesn't have the hover over effect, and so you don't get to see the stats on the phone, but everything else shows up really, really well. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy that. There are a few little changes that we're still trying to work on and get fixed. The site is all updated, tons of new content, so make sure you go plug in and watch and check out some of the new content. A new GFW show should be dropping here soon, and then we'll do a Press Pass Live. I need to go look at everybody's schedule. We'll either do that today or do that first thing tomorrow. So, D-Wayne, thank you so much for taking some time out of your afternoon to do this. And hopefully it helps everybody know that D-Wayne and I are here to talk. The board's here to talk through issues. And we're all on the same page trying to work together to figure this out. And so we'll get it done. Any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
No, like you said, if you have any questions, don't worry. Nate won't bite your head off. Even Kay won't bite your head off, at least not the whole head.
K-Mate.
Most of us, even some of these guys that aren't board members have been here a long time, that don't be scared to ask them or just ask us. It's better to ask and be told how it's supposed to be than to. I will tell you that from when I first got here, when the first time Nate jumped in my DM and jumped all over me, it was a pretty scary process. So
it's such a stretch of reality.
But don't be scared to ask if you have any questions. Kind of like the zone one. I mean, it's good to get some clarification on it. And like I said, if it's exciting to see that, even with guys that gets bad feedback, and I'll say that I've got bad feedback before. You have to be open-minded to fixing it, or at least, I hate to say explaining it, and let us see your side of it. Then we'll tell you how it's supposed to be. Or, Nate's open-minded, or we're all open-minded to the fact that we're willing to listen. But you also have to be open-minded on the other end to fix it if it needs to be fixed. And like I said, I guess we're going to have a PPL here pretty soon, today or tomorrow, I think what you said.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to go look at everybody's schedule. I need to go look at that, so I'll go do that now. All right, well, D-Wayne, thanks so much for doing this. I'll get this out to everybody. Hopefully it helps some people. And we'll see you guys here pretty soon for Press Pass Live. Have a great week. Peace.
Later, guys.